I'm a transactional attorney, and I'm passionate about assisting both new and established businesses with their corporate governance documents. This doesn't just mean formation documents for various types of business entities. I'm talking about shareholders agreements, partnership agreements, and operating agreements. In other words, governing agreements. Governing agreements are often required to open bank accounts or obtain financing, and they are definitely sought by buyers during mergers and acquisitions. Minority shareholders and interest holders look to governing documents to spell out their rights definitively. And of course, majority holders look for authority to make decisions and run the day-to-day. Equally important is setting guidelines for business growth, interest transfer, and all the other general changes that a business encounters over years of operation. Those reasons seem lofty and perhaps out of touch for a small business, but notwithstanding those important reasons, a governing agreement has inherent value for every business. Business people often don't recognize that value, especially when the business they operate is closely held or family-owned. It's logical to think that when we're in business with dear friends or relatives, that we don't need written parameters defining that relationship. However, I encourage my clients that it is actually a best practice to have governing agreements that give a framework for addressing all the issues that may very well drive a wedge into the business or the relationship down the road. In fact, governing agreements are the most effective way to protect business partners' interpersonal relationships, as well as the survival of the business. When advising businesses on governing agreements, I remind the shareholders, partners, members, and owners to think about what they want for the business, for themselves individually, and for each other with every decision made. Establishing guidelines early on, particularly guidelines that consider and protect the best interests of the business and everyone involved in it, means that decisions about governance are being made when the relationships are strong, rather than being argued about when the relationships or the business itself are already facing challenges. Oh, and it's equally important for a single member entity to have a governing agreement. In this way, if the founder of the business ever chooses to sell portions of their ownership to new members or shareholders, a structure is already in place that the founder chose and controlled, which is ideal when someone new is just coming in. Whether I'm working with a new business startup or an established business wanting to review and amend an older agreement or write something fresh, it gives me a lot of satisfaction to advise on and draft governing agreements. Any agreement that gets to the heart of the operations of a business and the professional relationships of the owners makes me feel like I'm having an impact in my client's world, something I find both professionally and personally satisfying.